Perfect Crown might not be a perfect drama, but it gets dangerously close. In just 12 episodes, it manages to deliver a fully fleshed out story, layered characters, a believable romance, political intrigue, and some of the best costume design I've ever seen. So let's talk about why Perfect Crown works so well and the few places where the illusion cracks. Just a little. First off, the concept is fantastic. Perfect Crown gives us a world in which Korea still has a monarchy, but it's a constitutional monarchy, like in England. And it creates this fascinating fusion of traditional Sageuk themes and modern chaebol drama. You get royal politics, succession battles, and court intrigue, but mixed with corporate warfare, media manipulation, and celebrity culture. It feels familiar and completely fresh at the same time. Because at its core, this is still a story about the same things historical dramas have always been about: succession, legacy, and power. But what makes Perfect Crown interesting is the way it explores different types of power through each character. Our main character, Sung Hui-ju, represents power in its most raw, ambitious form. As a chaebol heiress, she seems to have it all. She's smart, beautiful, rich, and relentlessly driven. But she's missing one crucial thing: status. Born to her father's concubine, she's treated as less than, while her half-brother, who has half her skill set, is considered the more legitimate heir, not only because of his birth, but also because he married a woman from the nobility. And in this world, lineage matters. Now, you might think that this would give Hee-joo an inferiority complex, but no, it's quite the opposite. And this is easily one of my absolute favorite things about this show. Hee-joo knows exactly what she's worth. She has an ego that could fill the Grand Canyon, and the sheer talent to back it up. She is fully willing to play dirty if it gets her what she wants, because she's not about to let arbitrary rules stop her from grabbing the exact same advantages her enemies enjoy. Her flaws are somehow also her greatest assets, and they make it impossible not to root for her, even when she's acting like a spoiled, entitled menace. We see her sheer audacity on full display when she attends the king's birthday party. Unlike most people there, Hee-joo holds absolutely zero reverence for the aristocracy. But as a clever businesswoman, she knows a massive PR opportunity when she sees one. So what does she do? She pulls up in the flashiest luxury car in all of South Korea, wearing a breathtaking, vibrant red suit. She's fully aware that only royalty are permitted to wear red inside the palace, and she's even more aware that breaking this taboo will put her on the front page of every single newspaper and social media outlet covering the event. It is such an amazingly bold move, and it tells you everything you need to know about her character within minutes. When Hee-joo wanders off in search of a cell signal, she runs smack dab into Prince Eon. And immediately, the drama sets up the contrast between them. Because while Hee-joo represents ambition and force of will, Eon represents symbolic power. He's beloved by the public, handsome, and charismatic. But the problem is, he doesn't really understand how powerful he actually is. He was raised to stand behind the throne. His entire existence has been shaped around supporting others, never leading himself. Meanwhile, the Queen Dowager understands exactly how dangerous he is, because influence is still power. The stock market can rise or fall depending on who he chooses to have tea with. And in a constitutional monarchy, public perception can be just as dangerous as political authority, especially when the king is an 8-year-old child. To protect her son's throne, the Queen Dowager is determined to do everything she can to minimize Prince Eon's influence. Now this is where the plot logistics get a little sketchy for me. Her grand, overarching plan to neutralize Eon is to force him into a contract marriage with a woman of her choosing. And honestly, I don't really get it. She's deeply concerned about Eon getting too much public attention. But what on earth could possibly attract more media frenzy than a massive royal wedding? Sure, having one of her own plants be his wife would be useful for espionage, but she already has spies living in his quarters anyway. At best, this marriage gives the Queen Dowager a slight tactical edge. But as a permanent solution to protecting her son's reign, I don't see how it will help. Logistics aside, the Queen Dowager is a genuinely compelling character. She represents yet another facet of power, that of heredity and the establishment. She is the old world, the nobility, and she is doing exactly what queens in Korea have been doing since the founding of the dynasties, working relentlessly to increase the political power of her own familial clan. We see this clearly in both her relationship with her overbearing father and her son, the king. She does exactly as her father commands, and she raises her own son with a cold, firm hand, treating him more like a walking crown than a human child. She will do anything to maintain their family's position of power. And finally, we have the Prime Minister, Min Jeong-woo, Hee-joo's old school friend, who is also wildly in love with her. He represents yet another form of power, governmental and bureaucratic. He is the true operational ruler of the nation, the man who makes the heavy choices and actually has to answer to the consequences. So what happens when you throw all these incredibly powerful, conflicting players into the same room? You get chaos. When Hee-joo and Eon eventually enter into a contract marriage, we quickly learn that the modern palace is just as deadly as it was centuries ago. Someone instantly messes with the brakes on Hee-joo's car. She's literally poisoned during the royal wedding. There is a massive fire with Prince Eon trapped inside. The stakes are incredibly high, and it makes for a gripping, edge-of-your-seat show. But look, I'm not going to lie to you. Lurking beneath all those high-stakes moments are plot holes deep enough to drown a man. Every single time I watched a scene of the palace burning, while a bunch of palace servants frantically tossed wooden buckets of water onto a raging inferno, I couldn't help but laugh at how little sense the security logistics make. Let's look at the timeline. The previous king tragically died in a fire. There was another fire in the very first episode. And then we get yet another fire with Prince Eon. That is 3 major fires at the royal palace over the course of just a couple years. And somehow nobody thought to install a modern sprinkler system or maybe a few fire hydrants. Also, where are the CCTVs? I don't know. Maybe there's some archaic royal decree against digitally recording the royal family's private quarters. But it definitely felt way too easy for villains to attack the monarchy. While plot logistics sometimes fail, the show excels when it comes to relationships. One of the most interesting dynamics in the entire show is between Hee-joo and her family. To put it mildly, they do not get along. Her brother Min-joon is constantly vying for control of the family business, and Hee-joo openly thinks he's an idiot. Her father is cold and harsh. He seems to care more about corporate stock prices than his own daughter. But there are some very telling, subtle moments where the drama allows us to peel back the layers and see beneath the surface. The first is the fact that Hee-joo's father is visibly unhappy about her marriage to the prince. While this royal connection is a massive benefit to their business, he looks genuinely upset when it's finalized. He immediately asks his noble daughter-in-law to get someone from her family into the palace so Hee-joo will have somebody to rely on within the palace walls. Later, Soo-jin says to her husband, "I thought your father didn't even like Hee-joo." Min-joon answers that he doesn't, but he absolutely hates it when anybody else picks on her. Right away, the viewer is clued into the fact that their family dynamic is so much deeper than it first appeared. You get the distinct impression that her father might have been intentionally cold to her to help her grow thick skin and become strong. Perhaps he knew that she would face relentless abuse and elitist criticism for her birth status, and he wanted to ensure that she could protect herself from anything the world threw at her. We also see her brother step up in a massive way when it really matters. He goes out of his way to give strategic media interviews, designed to shift public opinion back in Hee-joo's favor when she comes under intense scrutiny. Over time, he proves that he is far more competent than anyone ever gave him credit for, and more importantly, that he loves his sister enough to support her when destroying her would have helped him achieve his own corporate goals. Over time, as Hee-joo and Eon's relationship shifts from a contract marriage into a profound, true love, she begins to soften, not just toward him, but toward her family as well. Hee-joo spent her entire life relentlessly pursuing her goals, focused solely on her own survival, maintaining her fierce pride above all else. But when Prince Eon risks losing his position, she drops to her knees before her father and begs for his help. For the sake of love, she humbles herself before the very man she felt rejected by her entire life. And when he actually helps her, she begins to realize that showing vulnerability isn't a weakness. It's also a profound form of power. There's this heartwarming scene later on where she tells her brother she's going to try to be less harsh toward him, and she actually calls him Oppa. Watching his pure delight when she uses that word will seriously have you smiling for the rest of the day. But it's not just Hee-joo who grows throughout this 12-episode ride. Eon was raised his entire life to never, ever take the lead. His father spent years driving home the idea that his only role in life was to quietly support his older brother in his kingship. But as his relationship with Hee-joo develops, she teaches him what it truly means to fight for what you want and to protect the people you love. He learns how to be bold, decisive, and unapologetically pursue his own desires. Even the Dowager Queen undergoes a massive transformation. When she discovers her son knew all along the sins she had committed to protect their power, he suddenly becomes a mirror, reflecting all the harm she had caused over the years. And her love for him gives her the strength to change. She finally stands up to her overbearing father, admits both of their crimes to Eon, and pleads only that her son be protected from the fallout. She even goes head-to-head against the powerful Prime Minister herself. In doing so, she proves that the power of a mother's love is ultimately stronger than any crown. We also have some absolutely amazing side characters who flesh out this world. Hee-joo's corporate assistant, Do Hae-jung, is the one character strong enough to consistently call Hee-joo out on her nonsense. And then there's Choi Hyun, Eon's royal aide and dedicated best friend. And guys, this man is a precious angel. He is incredibly brave and fiercely loyal, literally running into a burning building to save Eon. But he's also so sweet and gentle. He has an absolute obsession with flowers. The look on his face when he finds out that Hae-jung's family owns a local flower shop is innocence in its purest, most joyous form. When these two finally get together, you will be rooting for them just as hard as the main couple. So, to recap, we have a drama with an incredible premise, phenomenal characters, and plenty of high-stakes action and political intrigue to keep us entertained. But there's one more major element that completely sets this show apart: the clothes. Hee-joo's defiant red suit became instantly iconic. The Dowager Queen wears some absolutely stunning traditional clothing. But what really steals the show is Prince Eon's wardrobe. The costume designers created these custom fusion pieces for him that are part modern tailored suit and part traditional hanbok silhouettes. And they look so good. I am legitimately obsessed. And I hope this style takes off in the real world because I love it so much. Also, a quick shout out to Hee-joo, who absolutely rocks a traditional tailored suit. The entire wardrobe department did it right. So what's the final verdict? While the underlying plot logistics and palace security choices are sometimes a little sketchy, I am still going to give Perfect Crown a glowing 5 out of 5 Soju Bottles. Its incredibly tight pacing, deep character development, and sheer uniqueness overshadow its minor plot holes so thoroughly that those issues really cease to matter. So if you haven't seen it yet, stop what you're doing and immediately go give it a watch. Actually, scratch that. First, please do me a favor and hit like and subscribe. And leave a comment if you can to help me continue to make these drama review videos for you. Then go give it a watch. And if you absolutely loved Hee-joo's fierce, take-charge attitude and her refusal to let anybody dictate her destiny, you are going to absolutely love Fiona in my novel Beneath the Destiny Stone. Here is an exclusive sneak peek of the audiobook, showing Fiona in full-on boss mode. Enjoy!
I'm sorry, do my career plans offend you?
Where's your sense of decency? You'd prefer men pawing at you to being wed?
His knuckles cracked under the strain of his grip on the table.
What kind of lass chooses that?
Sitting forward, I leveled Henry with a hard stare. The kind who's about to be homeless and doesn't like being told what to do.